Yo, yo, it's working.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, this technology interwebs is the future, and I'm lost and flailing.
Yeah, I feel you.
Good, man. Yeah, glad this worked out. No matter who I've tried, podcasting and talking with online, there's always some weirdness going on.
Mm,
Um, like I know a guy who runs the Geekish Network.
okay.
They do shows 6 times a week, and they have us. They have like a call time where everybody shows up an hour early
Hmm.
just so they can work out kinks
Oh
still.
God,
And they do this all the time. So yeah, it's weird.
hectic. You sure it'll record?
Yeah, yeah. I've done this not with the video like this,
Mm,
but Facebook Lives always record. So
okay.
that's a little hack. Facebook Live tends to work. Facebook video tends to work pretty standard across everybody's computer. So yeah, it's solid.
Right on. On the
All right, so
phone.
yeah, I guess we can kind of jump into this. We had a interesting intro there. Um, my name is Mr. Benja, as everybody knows here. I am connecting here with my man Johnny Tran. I met him back in San Diego. Gosh, how long ago was that, Johnny? That was like
Over
2000,
10 years. Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
2006, six or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Maybe.
because I was farting around in the art scene trying to find my legs in that area and ran across you guys. And there was a show around. I forgot the guy's name. I don't have him off the top of my head, but he did a show, and I got in on that. And then you guys were at the show as well, and I met you guys there.
Oh, okay.
And
All right.
yeah,
Very cool.
um, yeah, it was near Bar Basic. There was a little area, mixed media. It was a mixed media show. Um,
Oh, sure. Yeah. Um.
n- Not like mixed media, the format of your painting, but
Mm,
that's the name of the
that's
show.
the name of the show. And yeah, we hosted that show in this space in downtown, um, like a retail space kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't remember the name of it now. It's been so.
Yeah, I know. I think I got the JPEG of the flyer somewhere on my hard drive still, so I'll have to pull it up.
I mean, you could tokenize it.
Oh, right, exactly. Yeah, which kind of leads to what we're doing here. Actually, go ahead and give a little introduction of yourself,
Yeah. Okay.
and let us know who you are and what you're up to.
Yeah. I'm Johnny Tran, co-owner of Thumbprint Gallery. We're located in La Jolla, which is part of San Diego, but it's a neighborhood in San Diego. Um, yeah, we showcase pop surrealism, urban art, lowbrow art.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, and that's it. And I'm a musician, and yeah.
So how'd you get in on the art game? I actually I've never known this. I know I met you and Paul together at the same time, but I never actually found out how
Mm.
you started the art game.
Yeah. So I started actually as a DJ, and from DJing, I went into kind of organizing events at clubs and bars and whatnot that I DJ'd at. And then from there, I started integrating art into the events and made a bunch of contacts and was able to start a gallery in North Park uh, a while ago, maybe 12 years ago or something like that. And yeah, we were basically the first gentrifiers of North Park. My bad.
No,
Sorry about that.
you said uh you said a gallery. It was a I don't want to call it a house party, but from what I
Mm.
understand, like you guys really just got in there and started because you wanted to, and like when people hear
Well, there were
gallery, they're thinking a certain thing.
well, there was no plan if that's what you're asking about. Yeah, we didn't have a plan. We just kind of wanted to do it.
No, I mean, I totally respect that. I didn't mean like I wasn't trying to shade you or anything. I like what you guys really started out with. I thought that was very awesome. Really getting in, making it happen.
For sure.
Um, all the all the artists that I know of in the San Diego area and beyond, they really respect what you guys do, and I do as well.
I appreciate it.
Um, you know, I don't mess with too many clowns, so I just kind of you know vanish on those guys. But no, you guys, I'm always there for because I like what you do. You have a good sense of the art scene and everything, and keeping track of what's going on. Um, Keeping ahead of the curve, I think, in a lot of ways. So,
Trying.
uh, major props.
Thank you.
So yeah, how's the pandemic been for you guys? I know our world is weird in general, but
Hmm. Yeah.
I
So
don't see. Go ahead.
yeah. So we shut down obviously in March, and we were doing only online exhibitions for, I mean, several months. I'm not even sure how many months, at least 3 or 4 months like that. And then right now we're open just once a week on Saturdays, 12 to 4. Um, yeah, so it's been hard because we can't do the opening reception events, and a large part of our sales generally comes from those events. So we're kind of an event centric business. Um,
Right.
so we've had to kind of shift more focus online, which we were already trying to do, but the pandemic has forced us to kind of put that into high speed, I guess.
All right. So how does the live gallery reception opening go? I mean, online.
But we don't have one. There's no reception.
Okay.
Yeah, we post the art pieces, the exhibition online essentially. You can buy it online through our shop,
Okay.
thumbprintgallery.com.
Right. Yeah, and you guys have still been posting some pretty cool images, so glad to see you still hooking up with that. Another thing that's come out of this pandemic, and I want to go ahead and jump into it,
All right.
is this whole NFT thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I posted a video about NFTs and non-fungible tokens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure everybody who's listening to this has heard of the $69 million sale of basically a JPEG by Beeple. I'm not sure if that one was a video or
Hmm.
not. No,
I
but
don't know. I didn't know he
he's
was
had
doing a
several.
video.
Yeah, some of his works are video.
Mm.
They're these short little video loops. I think that one may be a video actually. It's like I shouldn't say video, animated GIF to
Oh, I see.
kind of reduce its scope a little bit.
Mm.
Uh, but yeah, he's been doing them for like 13 years with this, and relatively recently, I'd say in the past year, artists started moving over to this NFT thing. And I say artist, I don't mean that in like the classical sense, but people who have been creating a lot of online images who are mostly not in the gallery space.
Mm.
A lot of production artists, a lot of digital artists
I see.
who I respect, but in a different way.
Mm.
Um, all of a sudden, they've gotten a lot more famous recently because of this NFT thing.
Mm.
Not not sure exactly why it popped off the way it did, um,
Mm.
but the Winklevoss twins with the Nifty Gateway were involved. Christie's has been involved.
Right.
So somehow this push has started happening.
Sure.
Um, and you're not convinced, I don't think. That's what I was hearing. Or
Well, it kind of depends what you mean. What am I convinced of what exactly? Like, am I convinced you can make money off of NFTs? Yeah, I'm convinced of that. People have, that's proven. Um, am I convinced that the value of NFTs are what they should be, at least from a art collector point of view? Kind of skeptical. I mean, I was
right,
interested in it, just interested in it when I first heard about it. But the more I looked into it, I became more skeptical. I mean, I don't, as of now, I don't think I would ever be a collector myself. Um, but I collect art, but I don't think I would ever collect NFT art.
What's the what's the difference to you in like a digital piece of art versus a print?
Well, a digital piece of art is it's just code, right? That as far as being able to display, you need a screen, I guess, for the aesthetic um, effects of it. But a print is physical. Um, that's one thing. Um, and but I'm not so sure that the issue is with NFTs is the like the main issue is not really the difference between digital art and physical art. I think it
Okay,
has more to do with what owning an NFT token or bit of code, I guess, in the blockchain, what that signifies as far as what you actually own. Um, and from my understanding, when you buy an NFT that's linked to a certain JPEG image art,
mhm,
um, you don't actually own the image really any more than I would own the image um, who hasn't bought the NFT because the image itself, the aesthetic effects can be um, duplicated on my end without having to really purchase an NFT. And there's no real difference in quality. There's no. It's just the exact same digital code. If I wanted to display the JPEG on my computer screen, it would be the same as on your computer screen, depending on the quality of our computer screens. Um,
mhm.
um, Regardless of who has purchased the NFT piece of code. Um, so I don't understand why a collector would want to own that.
Right. I It's really weird to me as well, and I certainly, to be clear, I definitely think it's overblown, and we're in a definite bubble right now.
Hmm.
Um, there was a link that was put out saying that 85% of the artists who are getting into NFTs won't be making money, and I was
Oh,
like
really? I didn't know
85
that.
85%. I was like 85%. That's generous. I thought it would be more like close to 95% because of the ease of creation,
Hmm.
you know. So many people, not just in the States, just all around the world, are just like, hey, let me copy this image off the internet and type my name on the bottom in Photoshop and or invert the colors or something silly, and maybe even they don't do that, but turn that into an NFT and think they're going to make money. I think the amount of people that try it once or
Oh, you're
twice.
saying you're saying there's a bunch of people just not really artists trying to get on the bandwagon and try to tokenize random stuff almost. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Mm.
There are certain barriers to entry in the regular art world. I mean, even if you're just talking about driving down to Michael's and buying a canvas,
Hmm.
that is a barrier to entry that a lot
Sure.
of people won't deal with. Um, but with creating a JPEG, literally I can right click,
Hmm.
copy, kind of upload. So
But
I didn't want to get into copyright
sure.
issues because that's another
Right.
kind of discussion. But yeah,
Also
I think
interesting,
these
I guess.
artists.
But
Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Yeah, it is also interesting, but uh, you know, I like what we were talking about in terms of just the ownership
Yeah.
and actually means to have like a digital piece of property, um, if anything, because so with these tokens, um, they're all minted or bonded to a piece of Ethereum or a piece of Bitcoin,
Right.
or like a cryptocurrency.
Sure.
Most of them are cryptocurrency linked currently. Um,
Are there ones that are not?
uh, there's so many out there. I
Hmm.
didn't want to say
Oh, I
definitively
see.
that some of them are bonded to just regular um, a regular blockchain
I
system,
see.
and somebody could set that up. But the fact that all of them that I know of are
Mm.
linked to Ethereum and Bitcoin, and I suppose there's probably a Pepe coin,
Is there Pepe
art currency.
coin? Oh my God, that's freaking
No, the
terrible.
Pepe coin is pretty stupid. It's
You talking about the white nationalist shit? Is that what you're talking about?
yeah, the Pepe.
Why did they
It's
have?
got it's got
Who
its
created that?
it's got its it's got its own fucking coin, man. It's pretty dumb out there.
Woo!
Um, yeah, I don't know who's buying into all of that, but
I'm gonna
yeah,
short
and
that.
there's definitely shady stuff happening.
Oh my
So,
God.
um, aside from it being a bubble, I know there are a lot of people that are doing pump and dump schemes,
Yeah.
and all kinds of weirdness. I wouldn't go as far as call it a pyramid scheme, just because that's a I classify that as a certain type of setup where you
Yeah.
get somebody in and that person kicks up money to you and so forth. But I get what they're saying when they
Right.
call it a pyramid scheme.
Right. Right.
Um, yeah, it's really weird out there, and I think for me, I didn't get the possibility of like a digital property until I started messing around with digital what do you call it, trading cards, like baseball cards,
Mm.
Pokemon cards, and things like that. Um, there's a whole culture of people out there who are like getting cards on their phone, paying hundreds of dollars for them, selling
Mm.
them on eBay,
Mm.
and it's not really it's not really safe. Somebody could just say, I don't want to pay you or whatever, and you lost your card, and it gets really really
Interesting.
dumb. But with something on the blockchain and cryptocurrency, there's this whole linkage back to the person. It's
Right.
a metered transaction and
Mm.
everything. So I think for that whole crowd who's getting into these art cards, or not art cards, digital trading cards,
Mm.
where you're just basically passing JPEGs around,
Mm.
um, it's for all of those people, it definitely makes sense to start like tokenizing this stuff. Um,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know if you've ever, yeah, I mean, it's definitely, first of all, it's safer, in terms of, I know when I make a transaction, it's going into my account.
Uh,
It's got the listing there of who bought it and sold it and
mm.
everything. It's God, it's so weird. I've never actually tried to explain my fascination for these silly little apps, like the Star Wars card trader and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Don't know anything
I
about
w
it.
yeah, I went down the rabbit hole, and it's dumb.
You need help
I'm
getting
buying
out,
cards.
or you good?
I'm good for now. Yeah, like I got the app here, and I'm just, that's and you just get like a pack of cards and cycle through them, and it's kind of silly.
Well, I used to collect baseball cards, so I kind of get it.
But what's weird is, after I started doing this, I went and bought regular cards,
Nice.
and I flipped through them, and I was like, I don't know, I'm not entertained by this anymore,
Huh.
because I can't show anybody. Um, the
Yeah.
limited number of stats on the app. It's like, um, it tells you how many cards there are in the world, and so if you got one card and there's only, you know 300 of them, you're one of 300, and you can show somebody on your phone, look, it's one of 300. I suppose you could do that with baseball cards, and you actually bring a card to somebody and show them, hey, this is one of 300 or whatever.
Mm.
But it's like, that takes so much work. If I'm on the app, people could just kind of scroll by and say, wow, look at this guy. He's got all these cards, and he's showing me this and that, and I can take screenshots of the app. And
Makes the transaction easier, making deals or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, but it's really dumb because, as I said, there's no uh, actual card, and I didn't think I'd get into it like I did. but this is the closest thing to a slot machine that I know of on in your hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so yeah. Aside from baseball cards, people are buying hats online. They're buying um, when I say hats, there's a video game called Team Fortress,
Oh,
and
okay, okay.
the game is free, but you can buy hats, right?
Yeah,
The,
yeah.
the hat economy in the game is insane. Like people are buying and selling these hats on eBay, and hundreds of dollars
It's,
for your character to have a hat that does nothing.
yeah, I've heard of that kind of stuff going on. Animal Farm, I think, and other kind of app games or whatever. Um, that's not blockchain related though, is it?
No, those
Okay.
aren't blockchain
It's
related,
super
but
similar,
the idea
the idea.
the idea of trading a digital piece of property like that.
Hmm.
Um, so now with blockchain, it's decentralized. So hopefully, whoever you're buying your NFT from, whether it be art, trading card, whatever, that it's transferred on an open marketplace, which is why it needs to be attached to like an Ethereum
Yeah,
or a
yeah.
Bitcoin or something. Um,
There's some cryptos
so
that are not centralized though, by the way.
like the NBA Top Shot, that's you're not going anywhere without the NBA, basically. So you need their website, their whole ecosystem, and that kind of takes a lot of the point away from the decentralization of it. But you know, that's interesting as well. They're phenomenally successful right now
Yeah, I'm
with
not
that.
familiar with that. I'm not really sure what that is.
That's the next generation of digital trading cards, the NBA Top Shot thing.
Oh.
You're basically buying into these moments. They're these short little video clips with
Oh
stats and
yeah. I did
information.
hear about that.
Yeah, I got online last week and bought a pack for like $14.
A pack of
And
videos essentially. That's interesting.
I bought three videos for $14. Dumbest thing I've ever done, and most awesome thing I've ever done at the same time. Um, so yeah, I bought these three moments,
Hmm.
opened them up. They played the awesome little animation and it tears open.
Yeah.
This cube is spinning around and like the character's name comes out and the stats are on the side. And then it shows the video of like him faking a guy out and then taking a jump shot. And yeah, it's like one of those ESPN replay deals, when you
But
see the replay.
Official NBA kind of controlled.
Right.
Got it.
So
Got it.
so if I want to share with somebody my collection of moments or whatever, I'd go online, get the link from the NBA Top Shot page, send them that link and say, hey, here's my collection of moments or whatever.
Hmm.
And they're like, oh wow, you got the super rare, rookie event of blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah,
Hmm.
I got that. And so it's you're involving everybody in that little ecosystem online. So when people are like all fascinated about likes and shares and retweets and all that, then it started to make sense to me. I was like, oh wow, I could actually say that, I'm one of the people who got in on this. And yeah, you don't actually, especially with NBA Top Shot, you don't really own the thing. You just kind of said, hey, I paid for this and I have this moment, whatever that means.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. So doing the same thing for art though, it's art is always weird to me, even though I'm involved in it. It's just always weird to me. I don't know what people are. I don't know what a lot of serious artists are thinking about in terms of going forward. I mentioned that I hadn't created any NFTs of my own yet
Hmm.
because I didn't have a good idea and I didn't just want to jump on a bandwagon.
Yeah. There's some barriers to entry too as well. It costs like $60, I think, to create an NFT. Um,
Um,
so
yeah, it
hold on
depends
one
on
second.
it depends on. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it depends on who you do it through. There are different
Oh, I
marketplaces,
see.
um, and when I say marketplace, it's like I really don't want to say it's a gallery, but it's the closest kind of parallel to that, where somebody sets up a marketplace where you
Hmm.
buy um,
Your NFT
you
art.
pay the fee you pay the fee to create an NFT.
Hmm.
You set the terms and conditions, and by terms and conditions, there could be a royalty range from like 0 to 50% or something on an NFT that the artist gets paid back if it ever sells again and
Oh,
so
I
forth.
see.
Yeah, and that can happen automatically. I know that's a big thing for a lot of artists where they're like, holy crap, I can sell something and then secondary sales can give me a kickback of the profits. And it's like, yeah, they can. Um,
Yeah, that's.
so I know artists,
I can see that being attractive. Definitely.
yeah, that's a big thing. Um, and I think part of that reason is why Christie's wanted to jump in and make such a big splash so quickly.
Yeah.
I think it seemed like from what I could tell reading their website and everything, I think they just really wanted to get ahead of the whole, every artist for himself kind of thing. And like, look, come through us, we'll make all your art important.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
don't just go poking around on the artist website directly.
I
You still
see.
need us.
That kind of makes sense too.
Yeah. And I mean, I think, I kind of poo-pooed on Christie's for doing that, but I totally get it. There's a On one end, sometimes I complain about the gatekeeping that the gallery system in general does,
Hmm.
and then on the other hand, I know it keeps out a lot of bozos. You know,
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. There's really a system. Everybody keeps talking about the gallery system. I hear that a
well, I
lot,
mean,
and
we like you or we don't like you.
both like just there's a system. There's a gallery system. I want to know who this centralized authority is that's controlling my business. But that's not really true.
Well,
The gatekeeping is basically the marketplace itself. Um, it's basically if you're paying for a brick and mortar place, you got to pay rent. Well, you can't show everybody because not everybody sells for XYZ reason. The real
mhm,
gatekeeping is capitalism. Um, there's no system, per se. It's just a private business usually needs to make decisions
right,
to financially. That's all it really is. There's
yeah.
no like vendetta. Usually, there's none of that's going on. It's just we got to make rent. That's it.
Well, yeah. Well, I think one thing galleries have done well is um, they've understood and developed a market that um, doesn't require, but really encourages the gallery's validation. And I'm not saying this is every gallery, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, you know, between 5 different major galleries, if you go in the door and say, "Hey, I'm just artist off the street," then that gallery is thinking, "Okay, if he's never been in another gallery, then he's just a
Oh, I
new
see.
artist."
Yeah.
And it starts to get into that whole, I need clout. I need clout from a gallery or
Sure.
somebody else before I can get ahead. And as I said, that's mostly a marketing thing
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, artists are notorious for not really understanding how they can get their own art out there and how they can really build their brand and
Mm-hmm.
build that clout. Um, and you hear me talking about that a little bit
Sure.
on Facebook.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, so so I think that's one thing galleries have done well. And as I said, on one extreme, and we're not talking extremes here, but on one extreme, it's like the galleries run everything, and they really don't. On the other extreme, it's like, hey, artists can just, they're being paid entirely on the worth of their art, and that's really not true either. There's a whole bunch of clout and uh, presentation and branding that goes on,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not just the painting on the wall,
No,
obviously.
no, it's not.
Right. So somewhere in between there, I think the NFT thing really shook people up,
Mm.
and it became a it became almost I was about to say a land grab, um, to see if I can get my name out there as, hey, this is one of the premier NFT artists.
Yeah, to be like the first, and I can see why there's a why people are kind of rushing into it because they don't want to miss out on the next trend, I guess. Um, yeah, I can see that for sure.
Well, aren't artists basically aren't a lot of the known artists basically representative of a given time period, style, where it's like, you know when you talk about street artists, all of a sudden street art becomes a thing, and you've got four or five names that come up, Banksy, Shepard Fairey, Black Lorat. I don't even know if I want to mention him anymore. um,
Yeah.
but they become like, these are the street art guys.
Okay.
And when another movement comes around, like the pop movement, it's like,
Mm.
okay, you've got, Warhol, Lichtenstein, Rusha. Is it Rusha or Rushe?
I don't know. I don't know how you say
Yeah.
that.
But yeah, I've heard so many different variations. I want to get your. But anyway, every movement has its like one or two or three guys,
Mm.
and then, all of a sudden NFTs come out, and
Oh, I see.
Christie's basically comes out with the magic wand and says, "Beeple, you are the NFT guy." Bing, and suddenly it's
Well,
like him
well,
and
Christie's has all the money, you know,
yeah.
and I think that's a reflection of how society is at the moment organized. Um, Whoever has the financial capital controls politics, culture, power. That's how it works.
Right.
Um, it's a two-way
So in
street,
in
of
turn,
course. I mean, it could go the other way, but mostly, you know, money is a big advantage.
understatement.
Understatement of the century, but
Yeah. So, but as far as the ownership goes, yeah, it's owning a piece of. I think what we might end up seeing even going forward is, somebody creates a digital um, artifact, a digital something, um, video, JPEG,
mm-hmm,
um, whatever, a VR space, whatever.
mm-hmm.
Um, and that's actually a big area where I think NFTs are going to shine, is in the VR space, if that ever really
Wow.
happens. Um, well, yeah, because you can definitely gatekeep people. Not Shouldn't use that word. You can definitely keep people, like my this. You go into a virtual gallery or something,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, I can only submit an image that's coming through an NFT that has X, Y, and Z criteria on it. Um,
Huh.
so
Interesting.
suddenly the game starts to get interesting. Like, okay, if you have an organization such as Facebook, or um, uh, Grand Theft Auto or something, where you can't just upload a JPEG, you have to um, send the ID of your NFT token to show that piece of art. Then it's like, oh, okay, wow, okay, well, that NFT has to reach that criteria before it's even used in this digital
In
space
that certain platform.
on that certain platform. Right, correct.
Hmm.
Yeah, as far as on being on a computer or on your phone, yeah, you can take a screenshot, but um, I think it's really
Hmm.
interesting
That is
in
interesting.
when you have closed spaces, like virtual worlds, VR headsets, you know, where you can control that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So,
I wonder what that's gonna be like.
dude, what it's going to be like? Somebody asked me what I think is going to happen in a year, and I was like, I I don't even know what's going to happen in the next month,
Yeah, I
man.
was just
It's
wondering.
like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I did not think. NFTs because the blockchain and cryptocurrency tech has been around a while and
Mm-hmm.
people have been talking about,
Oh,
some of
forever.
this stuff for
Yeah.
ages. But it's like it was, oh my gosh, Lawnmower Man. Back when we were talking about virtual reality and everybody getting, and it's been like decades and we're just now starting to see stuff show up on in like Walmart. Hey, buy this VR headset,
Yeah.
and it's still not mass market at all.
Yeah.
But I'm I'm actually looking at this conversation thread that got this whole um, discussion kicked off here, and you said something that I wanted to follow up on.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, and it was getting to if I buy an NFT link to a JPEG art piece, I can't stop anybody else from posting that same JPEG. So what is it that I really own?
Mm.
Um, yeah, I think it's just like like the sticker on your chest or whatever, the little gold star that says Facebook believes you own this Facebook NFT, or OpenSea or Rarible believes that you paid money for it.
Yeah.
It's
So I mean, in that way, it doesn't have anything to do with the art at all.
no,
Aesthetics is nothing, right? If that's what the value is, um,
that's what it feels like right now
mm,
because I've been online and jumping around like Instagram, just seeing what people are. If you like search hashtag NFT art or whatever, you can see what people are putting out there. And it's like people can buy, I mean, people can like obviously save the image, but some people maybe want to support the artist, but I think most people are just getting in on the craze and the art really isn't that important,
no,
which is
I
weird to
doubt
me.
I doubt the art is that important to most people that are getting into it. I I can't. I haven't really looked into who, like, the demographic of people who are buying these NFTs. I've heard, rumors that they're mostly not art collectors. They're mostly just cryptocurrency enthusiasts, investors, entrepreneurs, um,
Yeah,
which would make a lot of sense. They have a vested interest in pumping up cryptocurrency, and you have to buy
very true.
cryptocurrency to create an NFT. I mean, you turn everybody into a cryptocurrency bull, and you're holding cryptocurrency. That's fucking great.
Yeah,
And you don't have to
that
care
is
about
that
the
is
you don't
something
have to
that's
care about the art. Yeah, you could. I mean, maybe you could say, yeah, I'm helping the artist. I guess you could. I mean, you could also buy the art, the
yeah,
art that they've been creating. You know,
yeah,
I don't know. And that that whole thing about, hey, do it to help the artist because they can't survive on their art. Well, then you got that really begs the question, um, why can't they survive on art even though they're good in this society? You know, and that
hmm,
comes back to, well, we don't support the arts, we don't have a strong social safety net, which allows you to have more freedom in choosing what you want to do with your life,
hmm,
because you don't want to be homeless, etc., or you want health care, and you have to get your 9 to 5 job, um,
right,
to keep those things because society doesn't provide that to you, at least certain societies and in countries. So I think the bigger picture is it exposes from that angle of help the artists do it, artist charity NFTs. Well, why do we need that? Do we not
right,
value arts and creativity, or do we, maybe we have values and other things like money and weapons, power.
right, right.
So that's kind of the bigger picture, um, from my view, I guess.
No, no, I get what you're saying. That's a
Because if you had a social safety net where, you know, artists can survive and not starve to death, um, while they're trying to hone their craft, then you wouldn't have the same need for artists to be like, well, let's do this to support the artists. Um, it just wouldn't be as necessary.
Right. Um, well, on that angle, what do you think artists are missing in that respect? Like, what are you seeing from artists that you think they need to kind of understand to kind of get out of that mindset of uh, like charity and everything? Um,
Oh, I
or I don't
mean,
even know if you think they need to.
well, I mean, I guess that you could kind of say it's a mindset, like think of yourself as a business, etc. Um, but that's just a very small view. I think the bigger view is
Okay.
is more systemic. Like what systems of society makes it more difficult for artists to survive. And you'll find that those systems of society are the same systems that make it hard for a lot of people to survive. It's not that much different from, somebody growing up poor or whatever, or disabled,
Hmm.
something like that. Well, again, you don't get health care unless you make money. You don't get health care
Right,
unless
right.
you work for somebody who could then make money off of their business. Um, unless you're in the military,
Right, right.
then you don't have to make profit, you know? And that's where all of
Hmm.
our money goes to. I mean, a lot of it, um, fighting each other. So we could get paid for doing that. That money could go to the artists. Just like when, FDR, during the New Deal era, he to get out of the Great Depression, he pumped tons of money into arts programs and whatnot, and that helped sustain a lot of artists. I think Jackson Pollock would not have happened if it wasn't for FDR and the New Deal. So,
Yeah, hold on. You mentioned we talked about him a little bit before with him and the CIA.
okay, yeah, we did.
So how did that go again? Just for people who don't know.
Oh, I see. Way off topic, but I mean, the CIA. This is not conspiracy theory. This is documented. New York Times, etc. But during the Cold War, the CIA would purchase abstract expressionist art, like Jackson Pollock and you know it, as a way to fight communism, because communist art was more um, was more representational, um, and abstract expressionism connotes like more of a feeling of freedom. So they just looked at it as a cultural war, because the Soviet Union was propping up their style of art. So abstract expressionism was seen as the anti-communist art style. So the CIA would,
Yeah.
you know, buy the art pieces or bid them up, um,
Yeah.
as a cultural war, essentially.
Well, um, I didn't think that was like. Well, let me tell you why I just asked about that really
Oh, okay.
quickly. I think art is very culturally important. Um, but and I think it's culture is kind of used as a factor in warfare, like cultural warfare.
Yep.
You want us to make decisions that fall in line with this culture that we're pushing, as opposed to
Right.
um, other decisions. And um, and I think the expression of a community um, is is often linked to its art, and the less we push art, the more we start to fall into geez, just this mechanized something. I don't even know
Hmm.
what that would be.
So you're
But I
you're
think,
saying you're saying if we don't push art, something will fill that void, or if we don't.
well, yeah, I mean, I suppose it will. Was I saying that? I'm not
Mm.
sure. I'm just getting at the fact that I see a certain importance in art, and I think that when you brought up that FDR was putting money into the arts,
Hmm.
that's not just something that it's like, hey, art is great. We're the government. We're going to support artists so they show up on Art 21 on PBS. Um, it's a little more ingrained in society, the arts, than we kind of understand, or we take it for granted, I think, the arts.
Yeah, maybe. I think so. I think so.
Yeah, I didn't have a clear thought process on this when I
That's
was putting this podcast together, but
all good.
the whole uh, just buy art to support artists and no one knows why. We just seem like nice people. I don't agree with that line of thinking, but I understand the importance of art, so I'd always want to push artists to do better on their own,
Hmm.
and I want to push people to understand art a little more. Um, so back around, we get this NFT thing, and this is happening, and it's removing us from the art a little bit, and but it's
Yeah.
extremely important. So I think that we should engage somehow, but I'm not sure exactly how to do that. I'm just exploring right now,
Hmm.
and I'm catching all these different voices, and so uh, I definitely want to thank you for jumping on and give me your opinions, because um, you've always got some sharp insight that I'm not expecting. So
Interesting. You think that?
no, seriously, when I saw the conversation go on, it's like, on Facebook, I was like, oh, okay.
Different
No one's,
perspective.
no
Yeah.
one had really, yeah, no one had really come from that perspective, at least in the comment section and the people talking that I had engaged with online. So no, it's cool.
Yeah. I just think yeah, the NFTs are yeah, like you said, they're stepping in between the art, you know, like
Hmm.
between you, the experiencer of the art, and the art piece itself, and then now you're just focused on it's the like the idea of ownership. It's like instead of wanting the print itself for the aesthetics, you're way more interested in the certificate of authenticity. It's like, I'm collecting
Yes, yes,
certificates of
exactly.
authenticity. What's the art?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even know. Oh, okay. This is 1 out of 10. All right, bro.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. Just like it's probably even less than that, even because you don't actually own the art piece itself that you don't care about.
Right. And there are people that are people included that are making these NFTs,
Mm-hmm.
and they're flipping it around. They're making the NFT and then creating prints, lithographs or whatever
Mm-hmm.
reproductions from the NFT. So they're presenting it as if this digital blockchain tokenized asset
Mm-hmm.
is a source, and the prints that come off of that are like the reproductions, and the so that's actually happening, what you were saying,
Yeah.
where it's like,
Yeah, I
hey,
didn't
here's a
know they were doing
certificate.
that, but yeah, that is
Yeah.
interesting.
You could take, yeah, so that's a whole nother, but yeah, it's kind of wild out there. Yeah, I don't know if you wanted to add anything more on that, but that's kind of what I was getting into when I saw your post. So glad you could make it on.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for having me. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So before we break out, though, is there anything else that you wanted to clarify that while we were speaking, or anything else that you're doing right now, or you guys are up to?
Yeah, so we're still doing exhibitions um, every month. So check us out, thumbprintgallery.com, and keep up with us and what we're doing. And yeah, that's about it. I'm creating my third album right now, music. So I'm thinking that's gonna come out end of the year. So
Awesome. Yeah, I'll have my NFTs out too, and I'll make sure that you get listed in the credits
nice. Well, I was thinking about
for
tokenizing my soul. See how much I can
oh,
get for
nice.
that. Probably a
Yeah, what
negative
is it?
amount, but
Yeah, it's dumb out there. I will totally admit to that. It's just stupid out there right now. So, yeah, man. Definitely appreciate your time. And you said you had a show coming up. There was another show like next week or
oh yeah. So the show by JYK is still at Thumbprint Gallery in La Jolla. Jin Kim, and it's one more week we have that show up. Thumbprint Gallery in La Jolla.
all right, cool. I'll be sure to link that up when I put it out here. I'll try to have that in a day or two.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Cool. Hey, good talking to you. Thanks for suffering through me and my
No, that was
technological
fun.
hoops,
Oh yeah,
trying to
no
make it all
worries.
happen here. Cool, cool. All right, man. I'll talk to you later. Appreciate it.
Okay, bye.
Bye. That was Johnny Tran of Thumbprint Gallery. Really want to appreciate him for coming on, talking some NFT noise for me. It's funny when you're talking to people on Facebook or on whatever platform, it's one thing, but then when you talk to them in person, you're like, oh, okay, that's the face to face, screen to screen talking is always a little different than talking to them in 180 characters or less kind of format. So be sure to keep connected to your friends, your family, and everything else. Be sure to check out the other videos here. I'm going to be creating more of these, putting them under the ADD Experience podcast. That is the Art Development and Design Experience podcast by Mr. Benja, now on YouTube and all your favorite podcast channels. So thanks, everybody. I will see you later.